Hello. Well, welcome to the space between ideas on blankets. I know I look like a monster. It was like 7 degrees outside today. I went for a jog. I came back. The hot water's broken, so I took a cold shower. The water basically was like 3 degrees, maybe 3 or 4 degrees, and it really actually hurt my body. It was like so cold, but I feel clean and I feel frozen, and now I have to keep myself warm. All right. So, anyways, so some people they send me some messages about like, hey, look, your Cubit Connect little app, it doesn't work, and I'm like, well, okay, maybe. Let's just take a look and see what it looks like. So the thing is that let me show you the functionality of Cubit Connect, and it's a little bit confusing at first. I admit. So I'm going to share my screen directly with you with Qubit Connect, and it's going to be an incognito tab. So you should be able to see this. Let me just check the audio and the video to make sure things work. Feel free to skip ahead about 30 seconds as I check this audio and video out. And I'm sure everything's fine, but I just want to listen to it myself. Good. All right. So here you go. Now, the thing is that I don't, so the application, none of your data is coming into my servers or GitHub servers or any other servers. The way that I designed this application is so that the information stays only on your local machine. There's no databases, there's no, and you're not using my API keys for AI. So you have to understand a few different things. You have to know how to use a couple of tools in order for this to work for you. So the first thing you have to learn is how to set up an API key. Now, you could do, I guess, I don't know. I don't think it works with open. What is it called? With ChatGPT's open. I don't know what they call it. Open something. Okay, I don't know what that means. Anyway, so if you just click that button, it opens up to Google AI Studio. Let me just go back again. So here it is, set up the API key. So it says save key, and then down here it says get a key from Google AI Studio. So you got to click that button. Now for me, I already have some projects. Let's create it from new. So we're going to click this button that says create API key. This is the test key. And then it's going to say select a Google Cloud project. Huh. So this actually, I never really thought about this because I use Google projects all the time. But if you don't use Google projects, how is this going to work for you? Hmm. Um, I don't know. So let's switch accounts. I don't think I have. Let's go to Promenade Française. I don't think I have any Google projects with Promenade Française, so we can see what happens. Okay, apparently I do have a Google project with Promenade Française. Oh no. Yeah, I have some projects. So I don't know how to do this. If I'm like, I used to have an account, like I used to have a different last name when I actually had a different last name. So I'll just put in my old Gmail account from before I legally changed my last name. It's actually my first Gmail account that I ever got. There you go. Okay, so this is what you're going to be looking at is welcome to Google AI Studio agreement. As a developer building a Google AI Studio. Okay, so you have to click this because it's red, right? Um, I don't know. So, okay, so it's going to set you up with a default Gemini project. So everybody gets a default. Okay, so then you don't have to set up billing. I made it so you don't have to set up billing. Just click this, copy the API key. Then you go back into the setup API key, paste it, and then click save key. So just to reiterate, this I don't get any data, so I'm not going to be getting the API key. It stays in your browser. Now, if you once you finish, you can click disconnect key, confirm disconnect, and it brings you back to the main page. All right. So there you go. Now, the thing is, the next thing you have to focus on is this thing called select MP4. Now, what does it mean to select the MP4? So I just randomly searched for like a Instagram video downloader. So you can see this one. It's called Instagram video downloader. And then now we need to go into Instagram. Oh, I don't have a. How am I going to do this? Uh, what's the best, fastest way to do this? There's so, there's so many like videos I sent myself. Okay, actually, I like this video. There's this one video that I like. Okay, now I'm gonna just resize my screen so it matches the size of the other screen, and I'm gonna share. Okay, so this is the problem. Basically, what happens is you see there's this video, and it's kind of useful. I would like to be able to like spend more time with this video, but the problem is that like I don't want to have to click start and stop a lot. So, for example, look, can you hear it? I don't think you can hear the audio here. Anyways, I can hear it. Now, so the problem is like imagine that you're trying to use this information. Like I want to use this information. Well, it's actually kind of difficult to use this information. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy the link, and then we're gonna bring it back to this video. All right. So we're gonna paste it in there and click download. All right. Now the second thing is once we have this video, I need to strip the audio. I mean, I don't want to strip it for the transcript. I need the transcript. And the question is, how do I get it? How do I get a transcript? Now, I don't know if there's tools online that can help you to strip the transcript from a video. I use something called Mac Whisperer, which is kind of a problem if you don't have a MacBook. I don't know what you would use if you don't have a MacBook. Mac Whisperer is like the most amazing software ever. I use it quite a bit. And let me just share with you the screen with Mac. Okay, so here's this one. I'm going to sign up to download. I don't think you actually have to sign up to download. I think you just click download. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to save this as Cubit Connect. And I'm going to put it in my downloads. Good. All right, next is I'm going to share with you the next thing I'm going to share is the Mac Whisperer window. Okay, so this is what Mac Whisperer looks like. And Mac Whisperer is basically it's a kind of software where you can put any video in there and uh, take the video from my downloads. Where is it? Okay, here it is. So this one I called it Cubit Connect. You see, I just drag it down here on the screen. And because of the settings, this is 100% free. If we go into, I don't know what settings I used now that I'm kind of, maybe I should check the settings. I just remember that when I, Hold on, we're going to delete that. Okay, you can see up here. So see, it's transcribing. All right, there, it's finished. So here's the whole transcript. And I'm just going to click this button and then go to subtitles. So it's a VTT file. And you can't see the pop-up. Let me show you the pop-up. Okay, so now I guess I better share my. All right, there you go. Okay, so you can see here, I'm saving the Cubit Connect. It's a VTT file. I'm gonna click save. It's going into the downloads. Now, as I was mentioning, let's click this and let's click settings, customization, microphone dictation off, offline models, translation, ignore, integrations, prompts, advanced, pro, cloud models. Maybe it's cloud models. General. Why does it say? Oh, okay, I see. Because I was searching for something. Set up microphone. I think my settings are broken. So the thing is that like I use Mac Whisper settings. The thing is, if whenever I have a meeting, if I want to save the audio for the meeting, then I just click record Chrome meeting, and it records any meeting that I'm in. Um, I don't remember exactly how to do this, but it looks like my settings are broken anyways. I can't get out of this page. But I think you have to go into cloud models. And some models are free and some models you have to pay money. I just picked the free model, and so I got the wait list. I got this thing for free. Maybe I gotta click this information button. Okay, here you can see the model and the language. I'm using something called a small model, and the small model is free. Okay, anyways, so I don't need this anymore. I can close this. Now let's go back to the Cubit Connect. All right, so now we have our video, which is the Cubit Connect MP4. And we have the transcript, which is a VTT file, Cubit Connect VTT. And then we click Start Analysis. There you go. So immediately it's going to automatically detect the main points. The main point is to find the waiting list. Hold on, I'll just go back into sharing this one screen, and then it'll be a little more focused. Just sharing. All right, here you go. Okay, so it says define the waiting list questions, fast, cheap experiment, lead generation, first approach, idea validation. Okay, so what are we talking about here? Let me click this just to kind of make it bigger. All right, so it says the video explains that a waiting list is built on mocking up designs for a product and inviting interested individuals to join the list upon launch. Now, I don't necessarily agree with this statement. I mean, I agree that you can create a waitlist page, but I'm not sure like that it's like that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is how do you actually direct traffic to that waitlist page? And I don't think that you can simply just be like, okay, I'm going to create a waitlist page, and suddenly I'm just going to have like a huge amount of traffic that goes directly to that waitlist page. I mean, maybe it's possible, but also this video, it's not talking about how to drive traffic to a waitlist page. It's just saying, how do I build a waitlist page? Okay, so it says the video explains a wait list. A waiting list is built upon mocking up designs for a product and inviting interested individuals to join a list upon launch. Okay, that doesn't really sound like a to-do list item. Okay, let's click Cubit and see what happens. Okay, so it says mock up initial product designs to present to potential users. Create a call of action inviting interested individuals to join a waitlist for the product's launch. Develop 5 specific questions to ask individuals joining the waitlist. Current situation, goals, obstacles, willingness to pay, additional information. Now, you can see that the waitlist questions are actually here. So I mean, I can click deep dive here and it will give me those 5 questions, I suppose. But let's click this one. Okay, compile a list of 5 questions asked on the waiting list, noting their purpose as described in the transcript. Analyze the purpose of each question to understand the data being collected, which best describes your current situation for understanding user context. Identify the speaker's rationale for using a wait list and asking those specific questions. Determine how to collect data from those 5 questions. Informs the decision to make any progress with the idea versus abandoning it. The process of launching a waitlist and asking questions is referred to as a fast, cheap experiment. Okay, I don't think that's going to be useful. Lead generation first approach. The speaker emphasizes starting businesses with lead generation first, focusing on the ability to generate leads and collect data. It's probably going to say the exact same thing as the other steps did before. Launch a waiting list, define 5 questions. Okay, it's all the same thing. It just says, and then we have idea validation. Now, if I close this, I'm just curious. So when you create those questions, oh yeah, so you can't right now I can't collapse it. So whenever you decide to expand an idea, so this is down here, this is the information which is going to go into your PDF, that report. Okay, so the main thing that we're missing here is I need to generate those questions. So let's click deep dive on compile a list of 5 questions. Extract the exact wording of the first question from the transcript. Extract the exact wording. Compile a list of the questions. List the exact questions from the video. Okay, let's do it here. List the exact waiting list questions. All right, so I'm just changing this up here, and then I'm clicking Cubit again, and here, now it says identify the first question asked, which best describes your current situation, which best describes what you're trying to achieve. Third question, what best describes your biggest obstacle? The fourth and fifth questions are how much would you be willing to pay? What else do you want us to know about you? So you see, so you can change the text in the top one, and then it'll give you better data. Now, what best describes? Let's say that, like, what do you mean? What best describes? Okay, identify the first question. Note the purpose of the question to understand the user's starting point. Consider how this question helps to tailor the future product development or marketing. Record exact phrases of the first question as presented in the transcript. Okay. So define waiting list. What is a waiting list? You're going to mock up product designs. Yeah. You're going to create call of action, inviting interested individuals joining the wait list for the product's launch. Yeah. Okay. Develop the 5 specific questions. Got that. Use the waiting list to generate leads and collect data before proceeding with further development. Okay. That's fine. I get it. Now, what do you mean? How do I develop mock-ups? Sketch the preliminary product concept and features. Create visual mock-ups or wireframes of the product based on the concept. Develop a landing page or simple interface to show the mockups. Prepare a brief description to accompany the designs explaining the product's purpose. Okay, so what are the steps to creating a waiting list website? First, we mock up the initial product designs to present to the potential users, and that's how we do it. Create a call to action inviting. Okay, how do we create a call to action? Can we create a compelling sentence introducing the product and its benefits, similar to if you're interested in this? Formulate a clear call to action, such as join the waiting list. Specify benefit joining the waiting list, like being there for when it launches. Include a brief mention of the simple engagement requirement. Okay, and then we go into the 5 questions. So here's the 5 questions, and I expanded this one question: what best describes what you're trying to achieve? Okay, what bit describes your biggest obstacle? Okay, how much would you be able to pay? What else do you want us to know about you? Okay, that's fine. A fast, cheap experiment process launching a waiting list. Okay, that's fine. We can skip that one. Generate lead generation first approach. Um, I'm going to change this to driving traffic to lead generation page, just because I'm more interested in that concept. And let's see if it changed that. Create a landing page to showcase the product mockups and designs. Implement a waiting page sign up that includes 5 questions. Promote the waiting list through channels that allow for lead generation and data collection, as emphasized by the speaker's fast, cheap approach. Analyze the data collection from the waiting list. Create the landing page. Implement the waiting list sign up. So this is the promote the waiting list. Okay, I'm interested in the deep dive into this one. Promote the waiting list. Okay, so develop mockups, create the landing page, implement waiting list sign up. It says, what does it say? Promote the waiting list through channels that allow other for lead generation and data collection, as emphasized by, okay. In these specific ways. Enter. All right, let's click deep dive again. It didn't change it too much. Promote the waiting list landing page through targeted marketing channels, social media. Okay, I'm going to just highlight this. Then I'm going to double click here. So I'm going to change it to this. Promote the waiting list landing page through targeted marketing channels, e.g. social media, relevant online communities, and content marketing. And then I'm going to click deep dive again. Okay, here. So identify key demographic psychological profiles of potential waiting list sign up based on your 5 questions. Select the most relevant online communities. Develop targeted marketing content. Implement multi-channel marketing campaigns utilizing selected platforms. Okay, that's the point. Idea validation. If the lead generation, how to pivot to generate more traffic or validate the next idea. I think that's more interesting. Okay, analyze the current lead generation strategy, determine if leads are being generated, data is being collected effectively, evaluate product market fit, pivot strategy. Okay, fine. It's okay. Now, so what do I do now? So the thing is, like, I can use this data. I can download it. See this button? I got the PDF button. I can download this thing as a PDF. Can you see it? Hold on. Let me show the whole screen once more. All right. So what happens is you can go. I would go into more settings personally, because you can click, for example, header and footer. Okay, I don't actually want. Okay, for me, I don't want the header and footer, but in general, you just save it as a PDF. So this is all the content that we scraped from his YouTube video and the transcript, and we click save. So I can send this now. I could send this to somebody, and I can say, "Hey, look, I want you to like go through this." Like, let's say I have somebody on my team, and I'm like, "Hey, can you go through this list of information, and can you create a plan?" So it's like I'm doing the research for them. I'm asking them to create like a plan based on this information. So I have the initial research from the YouTube video, or sorry, from the Instagram video, and then I use the AI and a little bit of my own work in order uh, to like only focus on the information that I want, and then I can send it to somebody and say, hey, like based on this I've done, I want you to create a final draft of like our plan for creating some kind of page, a waitlist page. And then they're like, okay, yeah, I can do that. So then probably what they're going to do is they're just going to highlight, they're going to copy and paste the text and put it into some kind of AI bot. Do that too. So the thing is, you also have the markdown. So there's also a markdown button here. Now, if I use the markdown button here, then I just copy and paste. So based on the following notes, help me develop a checklist of items uh, to do to set up and run a waitlist page. Page. My fingers are frozen, sorry. And then so here you go. So it uses markdown format. It goes through like the whole thing. It explains like every single thing. Now you'll even notice that the text that we edited. Let's go to the last one because I remember I edited the last one for sure. Okay, look, how to pivot to generate more traffic or validate the next ideas. So whatever you edit, however you edit the text, it's going to change it for both the PDF version and also for the markdown version. And so you can just click enter, and there you go. So this is a fast way to strip a Instagram post, and then using AI, using your own AI, so everything's free. You can then expand the information. Then you can either send the PDF report to somebody, or you can just use the markdown file and then look. See, I have organized this into four logical phases: preparation, build, traffic, and validation. Phase one: preparation and design, fast, cheap setup. Focus on speed and low cost, the fast, cheap experiment. Sketch concept, create preliminary sketches, create mock-ups, draft production, product description, define user profiles, building the page, building landing page, set up simple interface, implement call to action, create the sign up form, traffic and promotion, focus on driving to traffic leads. Okay, so select the channels, create content, launch campaigns, validationing ideas. All right, now the last phase is like imagine we go to Reddit. So like setting up a wait list. All right, so if I want to get like more attention, is a waitlist actually a good validation method, or am I setting myself too early? Waitlists alone don't validate. Good proof. How to build and promote your waitlist lessons from gaining 5,000 subscribers. Best way to create a joining waitlist landing page. All right, so here's Y Combinator. So somebody said, I was wondering how to everyone collect emails. I was going to set up a database, but some people suggest I use a MailChimp so that they can verify their email. I won't get spammed. Their best practices. Can you find 10 Reddit posts that would benefit by comments that I could make with this information. Can you provide links for those exact question feeds? Startup India. Building an MVP for a big startup idea, stuck on the first step, money and people. Hi everyone, I am currently building a startup and the MVP is ready. Problem is idea itself very big. I've mapped out a roadmap till the phase of 5. It's clear that the later phases will need significant capital, strong execution and the right people. At the moment I haven't registered the company yet because I'm unsure whether it is the right move or no. Biggest concern are taking wrong early step and limit the future growth. Okay. Okay. So what do I do? Okay. Link one text. What should I comment? All right, now go to link two, link three, link four, link five, link six, link seven, link eight, link nine, link 10. You asked about how to validate something with large without burning time and cash. The answer is that you shouldn't be incorporating or raising capital until you have the idea that proves people actually want this. You mentioned you have an MVP, but you can't actually validate the demand before you even fully develop it, deploy it. I use a process called a fast, cheap experiment to stop myself from over engineering huge ideas. Here's a checklist I use to validate before I spend money. Legal fees or worry about losing control. Mockup and lead generation first. Don't worry about the complex fast end. Phase 5, create a simple landing page that showcases gatekeeper waitlist, current situation, the goal, the pain, the money, the context, analyze it. There you go. That's pretty cool, actually. Actually. So then I just have to call. Wow, I'm so nice. I'm being such a good member of this group. All right, now what do I do? So I gotta log in. I think it's space between ideas. Yes, hello. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, let's do it. Join the conversation. Paste. Stop worrying. All right, just going to remove this. Okay. I'm going to leave it. All right, what happens when I click comment? Did it work? New Weird. My name is New Weird. Why is my name weird? New Weird. Very, very nice. I want to upvote this one. Very good. Very good. All right, let's stop this one. Anyone else stuck with ideas in their head? I built a thing to get you a shareable waitlist link in like 10 minutes. So, do you ever have an idea you should know? Test. Like, you're not even trying to. Here's the waitlist. I made a web app that basically does exactly that. You type the idea, it generates a landing page. You get a shareable link with the built-in waitlist contact form. Okay. 5 days ago. Based on link 2, it seems like this has a great product. How do I add value? Here is the conversation. All right, let's jump into. Well, maybe I better slow it down just a little bit. This is a perfect opportunity to comment. The OP is asking what would make it a no-brainer, and you have the exact answer. This is an engine for fast, cheap experiment. Here's a feature that would make it no-brainer. I love this. I follow a value process I call fast, cheap experiment, where the goal is exactly what you described. Go from idea in head to live page instantly to see if anyone cares. You asked, what would make this no-brainer for me? The answer is smart, qualifying questions. A waitlist that only captures an email address often gives you vanity metrics that actually validate the idea. I need to know who is signing up. In my checklist, I require 5 specific data points to validate a lead. Where are they starting? What are they trying to achieve? The pain point, willingness to pay, context, no-brainer feature. If your tool could automatically generate these specific questions in the sign-up flow based on the idea I typed in, that would be a game changer. For example, if I type app for dog walker, your tool builds the page, automatically creates form asking how much do you currently pay for. Okay, that's okay. That's a pretty good comment actually. I thought I'm already signed up. Dang it. Okay, I think I just have to do this. Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm joining the conversation. Comment. Hey, look at me. I'm so good in the community. How do you really validate your startup idea before touching code? Jesus, is like a lot of people commented. It's way too slow. Okay. How about for link 3? Here is the post and all comments. Let's get this one queued up. The post asks specifically how to find the right people, which is the perfect setup for a section target market notes, and here's the traffic. Don't chase people, make them self-select with the fast, cheap experiment. I used to struggle with finding the right people until I stopped trying to do cold outreach and started running what I call fast, cheap experiment. Instead of hunting for users, I built a simple gate that focuses on the right people to identify themselves. Build a problem first landing page, not an MVP. Don't build a product, just sketch the mock-ups and put them on a landing page, and copy shouldn't be about features. It should be about the biggest obstacle you think they have. Drive traffic to a gatekeeper. Let the data decide. Okay, fine. Now the thing is that, like, it's fine. It's not necessarily the only way. It's like, now I got this other question, which is like, so okay, so I'm creating comments, and which has some specific use case, like some specific content. How do we validate an idea without actually building the whole thing? How will I promote? How do you what? Validate? Were we on post 3 or post 4? The other interesting thing about this is I keep telling myself validate first, and somehow I'm designing the landing page, setting up the payments, writing the copy before talking to a single user. Trying next idea, college mixes, launch stuff. Trying not to repeat the mistake again. How do you actually validate the process before you? Yeah. So, I mean, actually, I have my own thoughts about this. This is the perfect scenario. I mean, it's fine. Okay. So the thing is, like, this is I'm trying not to overthink this. What am I actually doing? What's the purpose of this experience? The main purpose is I'm trying to s- make contributions to the community. Like, do I think that, see, these people are reaching out, and the reason that they're reaching out is link 5, because they probably want to talk to other people. They want to get to know other people. Maybe let's change it so it's you have like a more focused view of my. This post is currently heavily downvoted, likely because the OP sounds like they are selling a consulting service, but this is actually a great opportunity for you. By posting a high value, concrete framework into the comment, you can rescue the thread and attract attention to people looking for real advice. Okay, I mean, the thing is, like, I don't need to overthink this. So, this is what I'm doing here is, now that we have AI, what we're doing is we're kind of like, we're hiring I'm hiring AI to write posts for me. Now, if let's say that I am running my own business and I don't really want to do this type of work. So, but you kind of it's necessary to do this type of work because you have to make contributions to the society. What is this, link 6? You have to make contributions to Reddit, and by making these contributions, then eventually people, they're going to see your posts, and where's my light? And they're gonna see that you're providing value. This is a classic cold waitlist. The OP has 80 emails, but no context on who these people are, making it scary to send a first email. Your note provides perfect solution. Since the OP likely didn't ask these questions during the sign up, your advice uses the beta invite as an opportunity to ask them now. Try my app email into a valuable. Okay. Yeah, I see the vibe there. I don't mind. And like, I don't have to know the answer. So in fact, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I'm not that really interested in the question. Like I would never go through and read these posts. That's crazy. Like, but like I found an Instagram post that has like some ideas that I think they were interesting for me. And then the question is like my I would say that like my waiting list page is not it's not the same as what this guy is talking about. I don't necessarily agree with the advice that he's giving. Why? Because I saw a better post. Okay, this post often leads to trap people list annoyances they have, but didn't mean that they will pay to solve them. Your notes in section 4 are perfect antidote. You can advise the OP. Finding a problem is less important. Validating. Here's the draft. Be careful. The pain problem is the only startup idea. If they will pay to fix it, asking for problems, good start. Gatekeeper 5 questions. Okay. So the thing is, like, I'm actually building I'm building a waitlist page myself, and the concern I have about waitlist pages is like, although I'm sharing some information here about like these questions and what I think is like, I agree with in general with the advice that I'm giving here, and I was able to tailor that advice very quickly based on a post I saw on Instagram. So with very little research, I was able to produce something which is much better. What is this? Link 8. Like the advice I'm pasting, it's much better than like just asking ChatGPT or asking Gemini directly. Like I could have gone to this page and just like copied it in general. Like for example, let's say I copy this, right? Then we go into Gemini, and then I say like what kind of advice could I give this guy that would provide value to the conversation? Right? I could do that. And then we can let Gemini run. But then there's two questions. The first question is like, is this going to be good advice? Is this advice which like so like why am I trusting this advice from Gemini? Why is this advice important? Okay, so he says this is a classic case called the Fang handicap. This person is used to working inside of a walled garden, massive existing code bases, proprietary internal tools, infinite CI/CD pipelines, established guide. When you strip that away, they feel naked because they've never actually had to make. Wait, do I have a meeting right now? Hold on a second, let me check. Okay, good. When you strip that away, they feel naked because they've never actually had to make a high level architectural decision or set up a repo from zero. They're confused code quality with startup quality. Here's the breakdown strategy to provide value. You need to validate their struggle, but aggressively shifting their mindset from engineering. Call out specific bias, solve the blank page problem, suggest boilerplate. This eliminates decision fatigue on structure and tech stack. Define wrong. He says AI code looks wrong. It's likely ugly or unoptimized, which is perfect fine for MVP. Okay, now so check this out. Okay, so compare uh, your advice to this advice I got from ChatGPT, and then I'm going to click this one. Copy. Compare your advice to this advice I got from ChatGPT. All right, so let's see what they'd say. So what we're doing here is we're comparing the advice that this guy just Gemini just gave in general based on only the comments, and we're comparing it to the advice that this guy gave based on okay, so here, this is a classic case of the engineering blocks. Just getting stuck. This your notes on uh, so I got to redo this. How do I redo this? Why can't I? Okay, hold on a second. Here, compare your advice to this advice that got from GPT after giving it the same context about link 8, but it doesn't have the breakdown for the waitlist idea. Which one is better advice and would uh, give the community the feeling of more value from the comment? All right, let's see what this one thinks. Okay, this is fascinating comparison. Both pieces of advice are technically correct, but they tackle two completely different bottlenecks. My advice focuses on extracting paralysis. JPT's advice focuses on product risk. Here's the breakdown. So the core philosophy is Gemini's the builder, assumes you're going to build no matter what. And so it's let's unblock your coding process. It focuses on lowering your technical standards so you can ship something. ChatGPT assumes that you might be building the wrong thing. It tells you to stop coding entirely and focus on sales validation to prove the idea is worth the headache. How it lands for a FANG engineer. It appeals to the engineer's desire to code. However, if the idea is bad, my advice helps you build a bad product faster. Oh, it might be rejected by the user. FANG engineers often hate marketing and mockups. They want to see the code running. Tell the coder to stop coding can sometimes cause them to lose interest entirely because you strip away the part they enjoy, the building. Addressing the user specific pain. This is such as what tech to use, what language to go for, how I structure my code. All of these are becoming hurdles. My advice directly answers use a boilerplate, write bad code. It solves the how. Pivots the question. Don't worry about the structure because you shouldn't be building it. It solves the when and why. Which one provides more value? You should actually combine them, but lean towards builder. Okay, so he thinks he's right. Okay, so he's leaning into his own answer. Breakdown, hacker mindset, core message. You're overthinking the code. Vibe, your advice. Cubit connect to technical hurdles, which is better advice. The waitlist strategy is better. Of course. Okay, so all right, so they both agree with themselves. You have did I already comment? I didn't even comment yet. Nice. Okay, so let's do this one. I see this all the time with FANG engineers. I see this all the time with FANG engineers. I see this all the time. It's crazy. Nice. I see this all the time with FANG engineers. Join the conversation. Comment. All right, where are we? We got two more to go. Number 9. Consider how someone that doesn't have your specific, what do we call it? Mm, objective of discussing a waitlist page, might comment and then compare it to what you want to say about wait list development before answering. Okay, now finally, I just want to just copy this again. Uh, Copy. Now we got link 10. Why people do vibe coding? Because they want to build stuff, obviously. What a crazy question. Is it still spinning? Okay. Okay, it might just freak out a couple times. Okay, you see, freaked out. We got to give it a second. All right, so we're doing this one. I'm going to just close this one up and let's go back to this one. Okay, it should be okay now. Okay, sounds cool. Is a vanity metric. Here's how to get business data without building. I completely agree with you. Asking community for AI usually results in false positives. People are polite. They say it sounds cool, but that doesn't mean they open their wallets. To get clear, honest feedback, you're looking for more. Before you build a user framework called Fast Cheap Experiment, mock-up landing page, gatekeeper, and it's the same thing. Analyze the data. Okay. So this is actually a fast, cheap experiment. What I'm doing right now is a fast, cheap experiment. So the thing is that so step one, okay, it's I think it's been like a useful experiment to like use my product in order to see like what's gonna happen. AI generator or AI polished content is not allowed. Please write it yourself. All right, let's check this one. I wonder why it's saying that AI content is not allowed. Okay, this one is okay. All right. So I just got AI to polish the content again to remove the indicators, which would make it think that it's AI content. And it was successful. Okay. Now, the last thing I wanted to point out is that like I also want to create a landing page. Like I'm also interested in creating a waitlist. So this thing I call Cubit Collect. Okay, so let's reset the project and click again. So it's deleted the now the thing is that you can click a backup. So what happens is the backup, like I can show you another backup I have. I have a JSON file. The backup is a JSON file. So here's another project, which is, oops, hold on. So let me click restore button. And then let's go to the desktop. And I got this JSON file. So if you click the project is restored successfully. Okay, reselect the video. This video is called number 11. It's into my documents and Cubit Connect. Where is my Cubit Connect here? Cubit Connect A, and it's number 11. Here it is. So this is the video that I posted before. You see? So here's another. So it just restored like the 4 steps from this. It already see look and it has some other things. So it restored this project to where it was before. So you can create like a backup for any of the Instagram videos that you've done, but you have to keep the video. So because when you click back up, it's going to ask you to pick the video again. It's going to save the transcript for you, but you have to keep that video. So I've explained the markdown. We did the PDF. Now we have the backup. And so when you click restore, that's how you're going to get like a JSON file, which will enable you to go back to previous projects. Then you can click reset project, and then you can click disconnect key, and then you're back to the very first page again. So the thing is that like I'm also creating a waitlist page, and this is the medium for my waitlist page. This is the concept behind my waitlist page. And so what I'm trying to do now is like rather than just like only putting in comments, like today we had like a really interesting experiment of just like how do we create comments? What's the process for creating comments? Like really quickly, I was able to create 10 comments. So imagine like every single day I produce 10 comments. I jump onto Instagram. Like I constantly have like posts that are interesting to me. And so I could use these posts that are interesting to me in order to create the content, like creating the markdown file. And then after I create the markdown file, then you see how I use Gemini. Now, the issue here, what I need to connect in like tomorrow or the next day, like intellectually I need to connect, which is like when I create a post, how does that send people back to me? Like, do I have a channel? Do I have like a group? Like, are there things that I'm sharing in my group? And how do like comments? How do comments actually like? It's nice that I'm providing some value to this group, and I didn't have to write the post myself. I was able just to use a post I thought was interesting on Instagram, and then I used Gemini to find the groups. And then, I mean, I think this is a really great system. I just haven't figured out exactly how that is going to drive traffic back to this. Now, right now it says set up API key. Now, eventually I'm going to change this so that it looks more like a waitlist page. But the point that I wanted to make about waitlist today is that like I think that a waitlist page should have something more than just those 5 questions. And this is what I built for my waitlist page is that I want my waitlist page to have something to do with my actual product. I'm building a product called Cubit Connect. My actual product. Let me show you. Well, hold on. Let me just show you the last thing. All right, so this is my product. It's called Cubit Connect, and the thing is that what it's going to be doing is it's like a task management system. So you just like write in your tasks, and then you click Cubit, and then you can click the task, and then it gives you the 4 steps. And then if you have a sub-step, and then you can click Cubit, put it in a new row, and then it'll give you the 4 steps. And then you can click dial left, and then click the one task. It'll come into the dialing in your priorities, and then you can click the dial right, and then it'll add it here, and then you can click one of those two, and then that's the one you're going to work on. So it's real simple. Like the ideology behind this application is quite simple. It's just a to-do list app with some features that will help you to break things down into smaller steps, and then also have some alarms and things like that. Maybe have a game. And in order, like since I haven't built it yet, then I took the methodology behind this application, and that's how I created this application that I call Cubit Connect, like this MVP. So now the purpose is like I'm creating a waitlist page, which is going to be it's going to be connecting with people that are learning how to use my end result. The end result. And the question is, am I really asking people questions? I mean, That's an interesting experiment. So what happens is eventually this little app is going to turn into my waitlist page, and then once people are connecting into my waitlist page, then I'm actually going to get feedback. And then the question is, am I going to build my MVP, or am I going to build something based on what other people are giving me in deck? And well, I'm not there yet, so we'll find out eventually. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll talk to you later.